It is an absolute shame what is going on in Philadelphia. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the trash pickup and the union that is on strike and basically telling the city, we're not going to pick up trash, we want pay raises. So let's go over a few things what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the problem, some of the solutions, what they can and can't do, and how bad it actually is. So here we go. Let's look at it. The AFSCME District Council is on strike seeking higher pay and better healthcare benefits. They're demanding an 8% pay increase each year for 4 years, while the city is offering 7% over 3 years. And now we're looking at, that might be a lot, that might not be a lot, depending on what they're making. So how much do you think they're making? Let me know in the comments below. So a council 33 employee in Philadelphia has an average salary of around $46,000 a year. And since I have viewers from San Francisco, LA, New York, and they might not know what it's required to kind of live comfortably in Philadelphia, a single person generally needs to earn between $85,000 and $93,000 a year. So they're making half of the salary that they're actually required to kind of live comfortably in Philadelphia. So before we even continue on, let's look at some of these videos and see how bad it actually is, because you'll probably be shocked at it.
All right, here we have a trash update from Philadelphia. This is just 18th and Christian, one single day. And this is the people who actually brought their trash here. If it's like 2 blocks away, the people did not bring their trash. If they put it out in the morning and they went to work, they're still at work and they did not bring their trash. But we have a full dumpster, and now the sidewalk. This is going to be really excellent. So, yep. Wow, fantastic.
So this is just one video showing how bad the trash is. And so they set up places where you can basically dump your trash, and they will have companies come pick it up, and that's going to increase so many problems down the road, rodents, everything else. So let's watch another video and look at it.
It's a terrible thing. It's nasty.
All Robin Dobson can do is stare at the mounds of trash outside her Girard Avenue home. Her entire block is now lined with garbage. It's day one of the District Council 33 strike, and there's concern about what's next.
My message would be get off strike and pay them.
City leaders want residents to drop off their trash at 63 locations around Philadelphia only on their designated collection days.
Where is this all going to go? On like City Hall, the mayor's house? Because this is going to cause rodent problems for people in their houses. It's hot.
Near Walnut and Farragut, more of the same. The city is telling residents to avoid bringing your garbage to the curb. Some don't know what to do. Do you even have a car to get to a drop-off?
No, I'm like, a lot of people don't. I'm like, what about, elder folks, people who are disabled that don't have the means to do that?
Union workers stayed at many of the drop-off locations, confusing some as to whether these sites are actually open.
It's just confusing because I looked up online, trying to do the right thing, looking up online, seeing where the drop locations are. It said this is a location, but there's no clear indication that it is.
As you can hear right there, certainly some confusion. People are angry. They say the heat and the garbage certainly don't mix. This right here is what the city doesn't want. They don't want you putting your garbage by the curb.
Okay, so we saw that now, and it is a surprise that this hasn't come earlier on rather than just now, because what they're paying these people, an absolute disgrace. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 10,000 followers, so please like and subscribe. 80% of you guys are not subscribed that watch my videos on a regular, so I appreciate that. Okay, let's continue on. Whenever I do my videos, whenever I make these assumptions, whenever I look at, is this going to benefit my community? What does all this cost? Because it's never just as easy and as simple as like, hey, let's give these people raises, because there's a cost associated with it. So here we go. The cost of raising the district council workers is estimated over the 5 years to cost the city $82 million over the 5 years. This translates into roughly $16 million per year. And if I was the mayor, I always look at, okay, it got on for way too long, And I would have personally never, ever let it happen like this, where your city is basically eaten up by trash by its own citizens that they're actually paying for, because you know if you don't pay those bills, they'll come after you with every tool in their arsenal. And if you as an elected official can't keep the city clean, you need to be removed. The mayor needs to be removed and the city council needs to be removed ASAP. And whenever I look at how can you solve this, how can you help relieve the pain straight away? So whenever I look at what would I do, how can I solve these problems in a super elegant way where it doesn't cost the taxpayer that much money, and make sure that, hey, we're gonna get the trash picked up, and so citizens can go to work and they actually are proud to where they live. So I would actually cut nonsense programs. I would cut down on programs that people do not like and don't really produce any outcomes, or that there's a lot of money in it and studies haven't shown that that's really helping out. And even if they are, I would remove grants and other stuff from communities so we can get these people back on trash and fund communities with salaries rather than just grants. And so one of the ones I kind of found was the city of Philadelphia has invested $24 million in grants to 140 community organizers focused on gun violence prevention. These gun grants are part of a $155 million investment aimed to support trauma-informed healing, resurrective practices, safe havens, and mentorship programs. So I'm looking at it, $155 million was spent or allocated towards that. And who knows what the outcome's going to be. And they might have studies and say, oh, this is great, we're having less gun violence and everything else. Another way how to have less gun violence is give these people jobs, give these people living wages, and give these people the money that they deserve so they can go to work and contribute to the overall health of the cities, that they can clean up the parks and do everything like that. So, as you see, they told me before that this estimate was 80 million, so we can actually give them a 10% raise, and we just need to cut these fundings for these programs by 90%. So we can still leave some of it in place and say, hey, we're gonna have to cut because it just can't happen. So how do you do it? I asked GPT, say, how can you actually cut these programs? So the mayor can call an emergency meeting only addressing the specific emergency. I would say this is past an emergency, this is a crisis now. So then you say the council members follow emergency meeting notices and agenda rules and vote. And the council proposes reallocating funds. Council passes an ordinance for the resolution, major signs or vetoes. So if you're the mayor, you come out there and say, this is a huge concern for my city, and we're going to reallocate some of these funds to give these people, instead of 7% raises or 8%, we're going to give them 12%. Because when you're looking at making $47,000 a year, they cannot live within the city. So we need to cut fundings, we need to cut other programs and make sure that these people that are actually working for us are proud and are actually gonna clean up the city. Because now, if there's more trash coming, less tourists will come, people will have rodents problems, and it will create haymack down the road, and it is just gonna be really bad for the city, for everybody involved. And as the mayor, you can say, I called an emergency meeting, and it would be a real shame if the council wouldn't vote in favor of reallocating these funds, because we don't want the council members' trash to be piled up in front of their houses, wouldn't it? Wink, wink. And if they then vote no and say, no, we want to have all these fundings in place and we don't want to give these raises, then you know that these are the addresses where you literally pile the trash on, and you get the addresses online and you then just drop off your trash there. They didn't want to reallocate the funds, there you go. But it is just a stamp of time where we're in, where we allocate these funds and we hand this free money to everybody, besides these people that are actually working for it. We give money everywhere. We'll spend it on crazy programs that who knows how they're going to result into anything at the end of the day. So we need to start looking at workers that actually work for us need to be paid fairly. They need to be compensated so that they can actually then work for us proudly and do their jobs in a right manner. And all of a sudden, Philadelphia is a city where companies want to move to, where businesses want to reopen and bring in more tax dollars. So then at the end of the road, we might look into fundings like that. But right now, would you open up a business where the streets are filled with trash? No, because you couldn't get people and customers in because they have to pile over trash, needles, whatever it is to get to your business. So what do? You're just not going to do it. And so the city needs to have, so as a city leader, you need to be really, really aware that, hey, if the city is not clean and if the city cannot get its act together, they need to be out. But people just vote on party rather than issues. And I've seen it all over the United States. They say, we vote blue no matter who, or red no matter what, or red no matter what. And we need to start voting on issues and saying, you know, this mayor right here let the city pile up. Now we got rat infestations. And if you've ever been to New York, you see these critters running around everywhere and you can never ever get rid of them. So it's easier just to never have the issue in the first place than dealing with it afterwards. And so you gotta, as a city leader, you gotta step up. But no, these city leaders, they have easy jobs. They're not been held accountable. And when I look at it, it's always that they come up with the best excuses in the world. Oh, we don't have the funding. Then take it from other services. Then take it from grants. Then take it from places where we don't know the outcome. Give it to a direct cause. Let's say we want to have all these grants. No, let's take it from the grants and inject it right into people's pockets where we know that, hey, they're going to show up to work, they're going to do a job, and then all of a sudden the city streets are going to be clean again. What better ROI is that than just letting it go on and on and on and debate and, oh, we're working on solutions, we're working on resolutions, and yappity yap, yappity yap. So this is just the society we're living in. We're now in the world of paper pushers and no actions, where everybody has these great ideas and, oh, we can't do this and we can't do these grants, we can't cut this. That is because they're all taking this lobby money. They all got these contracts, they all got these huge donations, and they say, oh, I'm gonna give you $2 million, but you're gonna repay us with grants and all this other stuff, and then they pocket that money. And there's been study out that these grants, like 70 or 80% of the grant money just kind of gets lost, and only a little bit of that money shows actually up in the community because they're subcontractors and subcontractors. So yeah, you got to cut it out. You got to make sure that you're deploying your money in the best way possible so your voters, your people that are in Philly, these people that are in your district and in your voting area are happy, so they'll vote for you again. But one of these games that these politicians play is, oh, by the time that there's a next election cycle, they've forgotten. And Americans are so quick about forgetting. They are so quick. And I see that when we're looking at COVID, we're looking at 2008. People that had money and lost everything during 2008, they were aware that, hey, this COVID money might run out. People that have never been through a recession, that have never been through anything like it during COVID, they spent all the money, and then all of a sudden they said, ooh, now the recession's here. I don't know what's going to happen. And so then they ran out of money. So it literally requires you to basically get punched in the face to know that it hurts when you get punched in the face. You can't just tell them, you got to experience it. And so this might be a wake-up call for all these people in Philly to, hey, my mayor does not have my best interest in mind. And why are we only paying these people $47,000 if a grocery clerk makes the same amount? Doesn't add up. So what we got to do is we got to give these people raises. Maybe we need to cut the salary of these council members and city workers and all these other elected officials, so we can pay our employees that actually deliver real results in the community way better. But this is just one guy's opinion on YouTube. And as I always say, do your own research. If you're in Philly, let me know how bad it really is. And I would go out there, but I'm slammed at work. And I'm here in Las Vegas, where I've actually met the mayor, because I was looking at, hey, maybe I should run for mayor in a few years and see how it goes. And so I actually reached out, and I've actually was on a fundraiser, and I've actually met Shelley Berkeley, super nice lady. And I was like, maybe one day, maybe not, depending on how much stuff I got going on and if this is something I want to do. I don't know, but people that are watching my video, you can now become mayor. All it takes is a camera, a phone, and you can go to these events and start campaigning, saying this is an absolute disgrace what's happening in my city. And you can then vote when there's elections, and you can say, I'm going to vote and I'm going to run and see what happens. And if you get a good enough following, you get a good enough audience that tune in all the time, you might have a shot. And yeah, all you got to do is have your community in mind, and I think the votes will follow, regardless of party. So this was it for this video. I appreciate it. It's kind of rainy in Vegas, but it's been also hot. And now we got the humidity. Now I feel like I'm in Florida. And so this was it for this video. Thanks so much for watching my video, and thanks for being on my walk for about 18 minutes today. And let me know what you think about all this craziness, and make sure to like and subscribe so we can walk together tomorrow. And I got my Jeep right here, and I see you in the next one.